Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode here in NHL 21. So in last episode we had free agency and we started up the season and we're off to a pretty good start, going 14-14-3. As you can see in our last 10 we're 8-2, so we are trending in the right direction. I did make some line adjustments based on some comments that we got. So the first comment is from HawksFan88. He says, I don't think you should tank for Smaby since he's probably a playmaker, and I don't think a line of 2 playmakers would work very well. I think you could scout the top 5 picks a bit more, and if a good sniper does come up, and it might be a good idea to tank. So he's talking about Smaby as in there's a franchise guy in the draft. This guy's looking like a playmaker. So he's probably not going to work really well with Matthews to an extent. So if he's a sniper, then that would probably be worth it, but he's a playmaker, so potentially. But if one of these guys here is a sniper, maybe we'll go for them as a draft, depending if we are a team that misses the playoffs or not. Because I don't know if we're going to actually miss the playoffs or if we're not. We're kind of like one of those tweener teams, I think. He also, like I asked him, is this team over-simulating, like anything we should do for trade-wise? He says, I was thinking you could maybe trade one of your centers so Matthews could get a bit more ice time and play with the sniper. Now, I didn't look for really any trades because I was thinking instead maybe we put Matthews to the third line because he still fits on this third line. And then Suzuki, since he's listed as a depth forward, we're going to move him down to the fourth line. And yeah, we're basically going to play Jenner with Matthews because Jenner is a sniper. And then Petrovic, I think, is also, Petrovic's also a sniper. So he has 2 snipers to set up, and hopefully that helps out his ice time a bit. He's also getting now power play time too, so that should help his ice time a bit as well. And hopefully he wins like Rookie of the Year or something. And our next comment here is from Troy Mitchell. He says, most of the time I do not like to tank, but to get a franchise type of guy, it's probably worth it. The question is are you sure you could get first overall pick, the first pick? And if not, how high is the asking price for that pick? And is the asking price worth it? So give up a lot to get a #1 guy or build up with what you got. So I totally agree with that comment as well, because I don't know if we're really going to get #1 overall, because that draft lottery sim is always completely random. Like, we could just fall back like 5 spots all of a sudden or something like that. So I don't think it's really worth it to tank, because we do have a good young prospect pool. So maybe we'll just see how this team sims up to the deadline, and then we'll start maybe trying to trade away players if we're not doing good. But if we're doing good, maybe we'll try and add some pieces to help with a playoff run, because I don't really like necessarily to tank either, because I would rather see these young guys succeed as soon as possible. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on that too. I was also mentioning that if need be, like if for some reason we finish with like the 5th overall pick or something like that, we could always trade that 5th overall pick and say maybe a defensive prospect to try and move up to like #1 if we really wanted to move up to #1. And Troy Mitchell also thinks that's the best bet that we could do. He says always try to package and get first even if you don't tank. And then he's also really excited to see how Matthews pans out, and I am as well, because he has been playing pretty good for his ice time that he was playing before. He's only averaging 7 minutes on the ice, and he already had like 12 points in 31 games, so he's just under half a point a game. So yeah, that's pretty solid. I think he should get a decent amount much more points with the power play unit and also being a third liner now. So anyways, those are the comments that we had from last episode. So let's get into simulating a bit more, because we're not going to be making any trades yet. I think I'm going to make trades probably next episode, because I will probably end this episode around the deadline, just so you guys can give me some feedback for who we should be moving away and whatnot. So yeah, let's continue with the simulation and see how this team does. Hopefully we could continue the 8-2 record that we've had in the last little while. So let's go to January the 1st, see how we do in the last half of December. Game against Boston's another win, and another win over Tampa. Jeez. Okay, so this team has now won most of their games this month, except for one, I think. And Brennan Reimer's been injured in the AHL. That's not good, because he's one of the low elite prospects we have down there. I do not want Alexander Texier, no thank you. We lost one game against Buffalo, but one against Chicago. Good stuff. Okay. Kind of bouncing around back near the end of it, but still a really good month. 19-16-3, liking that a lot. Let's take a look quick at Matthews' stats now. just so that way I could see when after I record this how much points he's put up since being put on this line, and he's put up a lot. Wow. He's all of a sudden got 20 points in 38 games, and he's a plus 10. Didn't he only have just like 13 points? So he put up like 7 points in the next, how many games? 6 games? I could be wrong with that, but that's what I think. He's got a 20 shooting percentage as well, so I'm really liking Matthews so far for like the ice time he's been playing. He's looking pretty good. Like, he's only averaging an extra minute more, but he's still got a lot of points, which is nice. Must be because he's playing with 2 snipers. Like, yeah, Jenner's got 21 points in his first season as well, which is pretty good. Petrovic in his second season with us, he's got 20 points as well. So yeah, that third line actually is playing pretty good. Nice. Let's continue simulating, because I don't want to get wrapped up in the player stats, because I'll look at it for a long time, but we'll check it once we get closer to the deadline. So let's go to the end of January, see if this team can continue their winning ways from last month, and we got to put Reimer back in the AHL. So that means, who did we have? I don't know who I was going to take out. Oh, it was Bell, I think. Yeah, it was probably Bell. So we'll put Reimer in, and there you go. Okay, let's see if we can continue winning, and Brock Cook has now been injured. That's not good. But we lost to Boston, lost to Carolina, lost to the Flyers. I don't like that. And Bob Morales has been injured. Okay, now we're coming back with some wins. I was going to say we're now all of a sudden losing a lot of games, but we're coming back with some wins. Yeah, it was Hinast that was out of the lineup. That's right. It's hard to remember sometimes in the AHL who was out of the lineup and who wasn't. Okay, well, this is a really wacky month. Okay, we lost a lot of games in a row again. Yeah, now we're back to 500, 22, 22, and 4. Last game of the month, might as well do this one as well. And then maybe we'll make some adjustments to our lines. So I think it was Sabrango that was out, right? Was it Sabrango? Yeah, I think it was Sabrango. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. We'll put Morales back in. There you go. Last game of the month against Nashville on home ice. Tuparainen's been injured. That's not good. We'll just go replace player, and it's an 8-1 win. Wow. Okay, so we're 23, 22, and 4, and we are 26 days away or 25 days away from the deadline. Looking decent. A lot better than I expected this season to go so far. So we have 50 points. The last playoff team has 60 points. We're 5 points back in the Leafs, though, so we need to make up some ground this month if we want to actually make the playoffs potentially, because the Leafs are the ones that we're chasing, because we're not going to get into a wild card spot at this rate, but who knows. So let's take a quick look at if there's any lines that are struggling in terms of plus minus, because maybe we'll make some changes. It seems like it's just the fourth line. It's not that bad actually for goals against. How about defensively? Any defensive pairings doing really bad? No, not really. Okay, so we're actually doing okay. And goalie wise, wow, Ettinger's been fantastic as a backup, but Rohan House has been kind of struggling. It could be just because of the injury to Tuparainen that we've been struggling a bit. Well, actually, that just happened in the last game. But once he comes back, we will be a bit better defensively. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to make any adjustments unless, let's take a quick look at what our penalty kill has been like. Because if our penalty kill or our power play has been struggling, maybe we'll adjust those lines. Let's see, penalty kill line in our own division. Our penalty kill has been pretty good for our division. Oh my goodness, okay, that's our problem. Our power play is only clicking at 7%. I've never had that bad of a power play before, holy. It's always been at least like 15%, but 7%. Okay, we gotta adjust the power play. I don't know why the power play unit's been that bad. But yeah, we gotta readjust this, see if we can figure out a good power play system. So, I still like this first power play unit. It looks pretty good. Maybe if we put Foodie up there and then put Petrovic down here. Yeah, maybe something like that. Okay, it maybe looks a bit better. Yeah, this is a really weird. I don't know why the power play is doing so bad. I guess we'll leave the rest of it the same, but yeah, our power play is just not good. Maybe it's just got too much skill on it, too much snipers and playmakers and stuff. Okay, so that's all the line changes I'm gonna do. Let's go right a day before the deadline and then I'll show you guys like the trading block and the player stats and stuff, so you guys can make some suggestions for trades for next episode. So let's go to the 25th against Anaheim. Unfortunately, we won't get the sim this game, but still. There's a win, there's a loss, 8-1. So we lose 8-1 after a couple days after we won 8-1. So yeah, this team's really inconsistent. But we'll put what's his name, Tupperainen back in. There we go. 5-2 loss against the Flyers, not good. There's a win over Pittsburgh. Garland was never injured. Okay, we're kind of playing a bit better since Tupperainen's been back in the lineup. Yeah, we're playing a bit better. Nice. We're almost back. Yeah, okay. We're 31, 25, and 5. I like that. It's pretty good. How does it have us in the standings? We passed the Leafs. We're actually in a playoff spot with 67 points right now. So if we continue this trend, we might just squeak into the playoffs, which would be pretty awesome. So let's take a look at our player stats so far for the season, and then I'll show you guys the trading blocks and also the draft class again, maybe just for fun. But let's take a look at those player stats so far for the season. So let's go to centers. So Joe Veleno and Liam Foudy both have 49 points. So Foudy's actually been pretty good for like a secondary scoring player. Matthews has got 38 points. Wow. And he's only playing on the third line and not even averaging that much ice time, like 10 minutes on ice. He's playing a bit more than he used to, but he's still, like, for only 10 minutes on ice and having 38 points. That's pretty impressive. It could be just because he's playing with two snipers, though. But very impressed with him. Suzuki, 20 points because we moved him down to the fourth line. Guru's got 1 goal in 3 games. Left wing wise, Zadina has got 45. Garon's got 40. Petrovic has got 36. Kubalik 36. And Hoglander 27. So yeah, that third line is doing really good for points. Like, I mean, Petrovic has as much points as Kubalik, who's on the second line, so that's kind of interesting. Right wing wise, Harvey Jenner's got 35 points in his rookie season. Liking that, he's definitely a good sniper. Lanson's got 13 points and Jenner's got 8, and he's also got 68 penalty minutes. He's our grinder guy that we signed, and he's definitely been helping out, it seems like, in terms of the penalty kill. And then defensively, Wall's got 35 points, so Wall's having his best season probably of his career. Yeah, I think he's already tied his career best, so he's having a good year. We have him signed for only 1 more year after this, which is kind of questionable, so we might have to sign him to a bit longer of a contract or something, or a very big contract at the end of it, or else he'll be UFA, I think. And then Biggs has got 27 points, so he's having a pretty good year as well. His best season so far. He also has his contract come to an end, but this season instead, because he is a RFA, so we're going to have to sign him for a long time. Well, Sergey's got 12 points, Willinger's got 10 points, Tupperainen 10 points, Savonin 7 points, and Innes had no points. But Tupperainen's a plus 13, so I'm liking that. Good defensive hockey for most of these D-men. And then goaltending wise, Rohan House is still struggling a bit. 3.14 goals against, so up high goals against average. Save percentage of 901, 4 shutouts. While Ettinger as a backup, even though he hasn't won really a lot of games, has a 930 save percentage and a 2.3 goals against. Interesting. Okay, so that's our player stats. Let's take also a quick look at the team stats, just because I'm curious on the power play unit and stuff like that again. See if the power play improved at all. Power play percentage, our power play did go up a bit, 10.2%. now. It was at that 7% or whatever before, so that's good. And our penalty kill looks like it stayed pretty much the exact same over that span, and we're 7-2-1 in our last 10. Okay, let's take a look at what is out there on the trading block, if there's anything that could help us continue to push for that playoff spot, because I think we might as well try and push for that playoff spot. Like, we could kind of choose our own fate at the deadline if we want to. So let's take a look at what is out there, see if there's anything that could help us out. There's actually a decent amount of good forwards and defensemen, but I don't really want to bring in any defensemen. It would be probably more of a forward we would have to bring in to help with the offense a bit, like maybe the power play unit. Or we could look for, I don't know. We don't really need to look for a goalie either. Like, I feel like this team is pretty solid that we have, but I think we just need maybe a bit more better scoring options for the power play unit, because that's like our main problem this season. Because we've been keeping the puck out in net pretty decently, it seems like. Except for, like, I mean, Rowan House has had a bit of an off season, but it's okay. It's funny that Colorado wants to get rid of Sider already because we traded him there for like a first-round pick, so they're probably regretting that quite a bit because that first-round pick I think ended up being like, wasn't it 5th overall? So, but yeah, it seems like there's a decent amount of good stuff out here. If you guys have some suggestions. Also, for players I'm willing to move, I don't know if I'm willing to move Suzuki now or not. I'd probably be willing to move anybody that is just underperforming that, because like Xavier Jenner is, I think, fine because he's a good grinder, but we don't really have one of those other than him. Maybe we look for somebody that could also help us keep the puck out of the net too a bit more for that bottom 6. Wow, Thomas Chabot with 1 year. Huh. I don't think he would really fit with our team, to be honest, because I don't really want to get rid of a defenseman to bring in an older guy. Lots of prospects. Lots of picks as well. Jacob Trouba. Yeah, there's a lot of defensemen on the block, it seems like. And Vegas and in Washington. Yeah, there's a lot of defenders on the block. Seems like every team's shopping their defensemen. Okay, so that's what is on the block in terms of the deadline. Let's also show you guys the draft class again. See if we know anything else about these guys. So we don't know anything still about maybe's player type, but Kukkonen is a power forward, so that's pretty interesting. We don't know still if Henley is a sniper or not, but I would assume he is because he's like Bobby Hull. Mayer's a defenseman. Couture's, I don't know what Couture is. Couture's probably a playmaker because he's like Nick Backstrom. But yeah, there's probably like top 6 forwards that are going to be like snipers around here anyways, so I don't think we really need to start tanking, because we could probably maybe get like just a top 6 forward sniper instead of an elite sniper, and that should do fine. Let's just take a look at goalie prospects for fun. Okay. And I think that's it. Let me actually show you guys our contract situation quickly as well, just because I want to show you guys who is expiring, who we could probably trade away if we wanted to tank. So Biggs is definitely going to get re-signed, but people like Liam Foodie's on 1 year deal. Same with Kubel Leak. He's probably not going to come back. Willinder is on RFA still, but he could be dealt because we do have defensemen in the system. Petrovic is an RFA. He'll stay probably. Suzuki's only got 1 year left before he's a UFA. So he could probably be dealt if we were to tank. Pretty much everybody that's a UFA could be dealt almost at this rate. The RFAs will always come back, because I want to keep this team pretty young and good. And then goaltending wise, Ettinger's contract comes to an end, and that's pretty much it. So let me actually take a look at our prospects quickly as well. So how's Dingman doing in the OHL? He's got 44 points in 44 games. Nice. He's going to be pretty good, I think, when he gets ready. But he is still a 76, so he hasn't really grown at all. But yeah, this is our prospect pool for unsigned guys. So we definitely have a lot of top 9s. And goalie-wise, there's our goalie prospects. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to the deadline, where we might make some trades depending on your guys' suggestions. Like we might continue to push for this playoff spot to continue wrapping it up, or we might end up trading some stuff away to make this team worse. I don't know. It depends on your guys' feedback. So let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.